Cleopatra VII. Cleopatra was born in 69 BC. Her birthplace was Alexandria, the vibrant capital of ancient Egypt. Even as a young girl, Cleopatra was intelligent and curious. She excelled in her studies. Cleopatra mastered languages, speaking Egyptian, Greek, and Latin. Her education prepared her for her destiny as a princess. Cleopatra's world was one of power and intrigue. Egypt was a rich and powerful kingdom. Rome's influence grew, casting a shadow over Egypt. Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII became co-rulers. Cleopatra was forced to flee Egypt in 48 BC. Determined to reclaim her throne, Cleopatra sought powerful allies. Cleopatra found herself in a precarious situation, exiled from her own kingdom. Her brother held the throne, and Cleopatra needed a plan to regain power. She set her sights on Rome, where Julius Caesar, the Roman general, was in Alexandria. Caesar was embroiled in Egyptian politics and was a powerful potential ally. Cleopatra devised a daring plan to meet Caesar, having herself smuggled into his presence. Legend has it that she was rolled up in a carpet. Caesar was captivated by Cleopatra's intelligence, charisma, and shrewd political strategy. Cleopatra pledged her support to Caesar, and in return, he agreed to help her regain her throne. With Caesar's support, Cleopatra returned to Alexandria. A fierce battle ensued between Caesar's forces and those of Ptolemy XIII, known as the Battle of the Nile. Caesar emerged victorious and Ptolemy XIII was killed. Cleopatra was restored to the throne, now ruling Egypt alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy XIV. However, Cleopatra held the true power. Cleopatra's alliance with Caesar secured her position as the undisputed ruler of Egypt. She also became Caesar's lover, and their relationship produced a son, Caesarion. Cleopatra benefited from Caesar's protection, using her influence to restore Egypt's power. She rebuilt its economy and strengthened its borders. Cleopatra's reign was marked by stability and prosperity. Cleopatra's world was shaken in 44 BC, when Julius Caesar was assassinated in Rome. His death left a power vacuum, plunging Rome into civil war. Cleopatra needed to secure her position. She set her sights on Mark Antony. Antony was Caesar's ally and a powerful man in Rome. Cleopatra summoned him to Tarsus in 41 BC. Antony was captivated by Cleopatra, and they began a love affair. Their relationship was both strategic and genuine. They ruled Egypt and other territories together. Their goal was to rule the Roman Republic. Octavian used propaganda to turn the Roman people against them. He portrayed Cleopatra as a seductress and accused Antony of betrayal. Octavian declared war on Cleopatra and Antony in 31 BC. The conflict culminated in the Battle of Actium. Octavian's forces defeated Cleopatra and Antony. They fled back to Egypt. Cleopatra and Antony were defeated, but not broken. They returned to Alexandria and continued to rule Egypt together. They lived a life of luxury and pleasure, surrounding themselves with artists, musicians, and philosophers. Cleopatra and Antony were determined to enjoy their remaining time together. Octavian pursued Cleopatra and Antony to Egypt, arriving in Alexandria in 30 BC. Antony's forces were outnumbered and demoralized, and they deserted him. Believing Cleopatra to be dead, Antony fell upon his sword and died in her arms. Cleopatra was devastated by Antony's death and found herself a prisoner in her own palace. Octavian had captured her and planned to take her to Rome as a trophy of his victory. Cleopatra was determined not to become a Roman spectacle. She chose to end her own life, dying on August 12, 30 BC, at the age of 39. Cleopatra's death marked the end of an era, with Egypt falling under Roman rule and the Ptolemaic dynasty coming to an end. Cleopatra's story is one of ambition, love, and tragedy. She was a brilliant and ambitious ruler who navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics and secured Egypt's independence for a time. Cleopatra was a skilled diplomat and a shrewd negotiator. She was also a ruthless and cunning politician, not afraid to use her power to achieve her goals. Cleopatra's love affair with Mark Antony is one of the most famous in history. It was a passionate and tumultuous relationship that ultimately led to their downfall. Cleopatra and Antony's story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film. Cleopatra's legacy is complex and enduring. She was the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, remembered for her intelligence, her beauty, and her ambition. Cleopatra's story continues to fascinate us today. She remains a symbol of power, love, and tragedy.